Hi everyone, today we're going to practice how we can calculate epidemiological measurements such as prevalence rates in ArcGIS desktop and then compare spatial or geographic distribution of leukemia cancer prevalence rate with leukemia counts for the year 2015 across the continental United States. First of all, go to your Blackboard week number 2 and download lab2_data.zip. So download the zip file and save it in lab2 folder. So here is the zip file data. We know that ArcGIS cannot read the zip file, so you need to unzip it in the same folder. So right click and then extract all in the same folder without any space or other special characters, then click on extract. So the next step is to open this shapefile. Open your ArcMap. So click on cancel. How we can add a shapefile or any GIS file into ArcMap. Click on add data, and after that you need to connect to folder if you haven't already connected to folder. This PC, Edge, and then GIS Labs. Click OK. So go inside of this folder, lab2 data, and here is the shapefile. And then select it and then click add. This is the map for the entire United States. Let's focus only on the continental United States, or this part. So how can I only select this part of the United States? So first of all, you need to use select feature in order to select some features on the map, and then draw a box around the continental United States. And after that, you have to export this selected feature, right? So right click on the name of the shapefile that contains this selected feature, this one, data, and export data. So here make sure that export is only from the selected features, which is continental US, and then navigate to lab2 folder and then save it here with the name of continental US. So it's different from the other one. The other one is for the entire US, but this one is only for the continental US. And make sure the save as type is shape. Okay, and then click on save and okay. So do you want to add it to the map as a layer? Yes. And then you can remove the previous one and right click on the name of the shapefile and then zoom to layer. So here is the map of the continental United States. This shapefile contains number of leukemia cancer for each state, as well as population of each state in the United States. The leukemia cancer data have obtained from CDC Wonder website and then joined to the US administrative boundaries at the state level for further analysis. This map is a single color map and is not informative. In order to see information of the leukemia cancer and also population of the US, you need to open the attribute table of it. If you right click on the name of the continental US and then select open attribute table, here you can see that we have 49 states in the continental United States. Here we have the name of the states, and also we have number of the leukemia cancer for each state for the year 2015, and also we have population of each state for the year 2015. We're going to calculate leukemia cancer prevalence rate for each state in the United States. In the first step, we need to add a new field, add an empty field, and then populate this empty field with prevalence rate. How we can do that, or how we can add an empty field? If you click on table options and then select add field, here you can call the field name with prevalence underscore leukemia, right? I briefly call it prevalence underscore leukemia. The question is how ArcMap can understand what data type is going to be stored in this field. Okay, are we going to store in this new field that is going to be added just name or just a whole number? Sometimes we need to store decimal numbers or fractional numbers. How we can say ArcMap that what kind of data type is going to be stored in this field? So you can specify the data type here. If it's a whole number, if you are going to store whole numbers such as -1, 0, 99, we should use integer data type. So we have two options. Short integer is for short whole number, and long integer is to store very large value of integer numbers such as 1 million. Okay, and if you want to store fractional number or decimal number such as 1.3, -0.7, and so many other fractional numbers, we should use float or double data type. Double is for storing very large value of the fractional numbers. And if you want to store text such as this field states, you need to select text data type. We're gonna store prevalence rate, which is a float or fractional number, so we can use either float or double. So both of them are okay for this purpose. So we'll click on floats and then OK. So here we get a warning which says that the specified field name prevalence leukemia is invalid because it's too long. So automatically ArcMap rename it to PRV_leukemia. So and it's removed I and A. That's fine, it won't have any effect in our result, so we can change it in the legend. So just click yes, and here you can see that we created a new field, and if you right click on the name of the field and then go to the properties, you can see that the data type is float. Click OK. As you remember from the lecture, prevalence rate for an health event is calculated from the number of health outcome over total population. So prevalence rate of leukemia per 100,000 people equals to number of leukemia over total population and times 100,000. So if you look at this attribute table, we can see that we have number of leukemia for each state. We also have population size or the total population for each state. So we need to do a simple calculation between these two fields. So we have to divide counts over population and then times 100,000 to have a prevalence rate per 100,000 people. This process can be done by field calculator function. Right click on the header of the prevalence rate of the leukemia and then select field calculator. So it says you are about to do a calculation outside of an edit session, so it won't have any effect on the results to calculate inside or outside of the edit session. So click on yes. So here you can type a formula, but do not use keyboard as much as it's possible because ArcGIS is very sensitive to the name of the fields and characters. Instead, just use this panel and also these other buttons. Okay, do not just type the name of the field. As much as you can, do not use keyboard. So we're gonna say this value, which is prevalence rate of leukemia, equals to number of leukemia, double click on this one, count, which comes here, over population, total population. And then the whole expression should be multiplied by 100,000, right? So you have to go here and then use your keyboard and add a parenthesis and then close the parenthesis, and after that multiply it by 100,000 because we're gonna have prevalence rate per 100,000 people, and then click OK. So you can see that we have prevalence rate for each county in the United States. The next step is to make a map based on leukemia count and prevalence rate of leukemia. You know that how to make a map, but this time we want to show both of the maps in just one page. We should insert a new data frame to have several maps in one page. So how we can do that? If you go to the insert menu and then select insert data frame, the first thing that you should do is to rename the data frame number 1, which is, you can rename it to count of leukemia. So we're gonna make a map based on the count here, and for this one you can rename it to prevalence, and then copy this shapefile to this by dragging to prevalence part. Now you can switch to the layout view. If you switch to the layout view, you can see that you have two maps in just one data frame, this one and this one. So before we start color coding these two maps, let's change the orientation of the page to horizontal. So if you go to the file menu and then page and print setup, here you can change the orientation from portrait to landscape, which is horizontal presentation of the map. If you click OK, your map is now in horizontal orientation. So now let's work on each map one by one. Let's start working with the count map. If you want to work on the count map, you have to make sure that this data frame is activated. How we can activate this data frame? If you right click on the name of the data frame and then click on activate, so you can see that count is now bold, which means that it's now activated. So we're gonna make a map of the United States based on the count. So if I select this one is for prevalence rate, this one is for data frame for the count, because when I click on this one becomes bold. So I'm going to make a map of the US based on this map, and also we're gonna make a map of the US for the prevalence rate. Let me change the size of this map, and also I'm going to divide the map to the same size. Okay, sounds good. So the next step is to, for example, if I click on this one is for counts, right? So now I can make a map based on the counts of the leukemia cancer. So if you right click on the name of the continental US and then properties, and then go to the symbology tab, quantities, here you have to specify the name of the field that you're gonna make a map based on, that which is count, right? And here you can change the label to very low, medium, you can change the color ramp to, for example, this one, and then flip the symbol, because the red color most of the time shows the highest number or the largest number. So we can flip symbol and then click apply and OK. So this one is for the count of the leukemia cancer. You can see that Texas, California, Florida, they have highest number of the leukemia cancer in the year 2015. But how about the prevalence rate of the leukemia cancer? So if you click on this one, you can see that the prevalence rate is now activated, and then right click on the shapefile, properties, symbology, quantities, graduate color, and then we're gonna make a map based on the prevalence rate, which is this one. So just make sure that you use the same symbology as this one, because we're gonna compare the count and prevalence rate of the leukemia cancer. So here again we need to flip symbol and then apply and OK, and after that right click and then zoom to layer. So here you can see that if we consider that's very interesting, if we consider the population size, so Florida is still has highest prevalence rate. You can here change the, if you go to the symbology tab, here we can change it to very low. If you want to change number of the decimals after this point, you can click on label, format label. Here you can change number of significant digits to, for example, 3 or 2. So you can see that the number of significant digit is just 2. So here you can change this to very low prevalence rate, low medium apply and OK. How about this one, full extent? So it's very interesting that some areas, so if we consider the population size of this state, which is prevalence rate, we will see different result. Okay, however, in some areas still have very high rate even with considering population size, such as Florida. But here you can see that Texas, in this map, which was only based on the number of the people, has highest number of the leukemia cancer, but has low leukemia cancer rate. Or California has the same situation. These areas have higher number of leukemia cancer because these areas have larger number of people. That makes sense that we have larger number of leukemia cancer. But if you consider population size or remove the effect of population, we will see that some areas will have low leukemia cancer or kind of high leukemia cancer. I think this one is New York. So in your write-up, just don't forget to look at the distribution and compare counts and prevalence rate of the leukemia and discuss which one, prevalence rate or counts, can be more informative, and make sure to discuss the limitation and strengths of the counts and prevalence rate. So for these maps, for both of them, you need to add the legend, okay, because the legends are different. So if you for example, for the count, activate the count and then insert legend, you can see that preview, finish. This one is for the count, which one is count? If this one is count, because when I click on this one is activated. So I can put that map here and then use pan to move the map to this part, and maybe we can change the size of it. Just remove the word legend, and also you need to go to the items, style, and I think only the label or description, apply, nope, sorry, style, layer name, let me try continental US. Maybe here we can change this to count underscore, you don't need to put underscore here, leukemia. So count of leukemia, very low, low, medium, high, very high. And then if you use pan, move this map, and here you can add another legend, but this one is for the prevalence rate. So you can see that the values are different. The values are a smaller value. And here again, you need to uncheck this box, and after that go to the style and select this one. Okay. So here you can change this to prevalence rate, prevalence of leukemia. Okay, so don't forget that you don't need to put a scale bar or north arrow for the large areas such as the entire US. It doesn't make any sense. The only thing that you need to add is to add your name, dates, and source of the data. Source of the data are Tiger Line, and also the other one is CDC Wonder. And export, and also put it insert a title here, which is spatial distribution of leukemia for number. So here you can insert for example text. Oops. Move it here, and with the name of A, for example, change symbol to 16 bold. Okay, so this is map A. Insert, or you can copy this one, Control C, Control V, and change this to B. And then here you can insert a title with the name of spatial or geographic distribution of leukemia, cancer. So A is based on count, and B is prevalence rate. So just add your information here, and then you can put it horizontal like this, and then export it as a JPEG or PDF file.